hear me good?
What's wrong with you?
Can you hear me good? Hey, Josh. Can you hear me in your little ear holes?
What is wrong with you? Get out of my ear holes. I don't want you anywhere near or around the vicinity of any of my ear holes.
Can you hear me in your little ear holes?
This is why people don't watch us, Lucas.
Okay.
This is why people tune out as soon as the video starts.
Yeah.
It's a great day to play, everybody! Welcome on into the channel.
Yeah.
Whether this is your first time here or you are rejoining us, thank you so much for being here with us today. You are loved, you are appreciated, you are always welcome here in this channel, and you are enough. Now, I did this recently on my own. This is one that he did very, very recently, DIMASH.
Oh, it's another DIMASH.
Yeah, it's another DIMASH one.
Oh.
I know. It's hard, man.
You didn't tell me I was going to be sweating today.
He did this one recently for the Tokyo Jazz Festival. This is, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Ikanaide. I believe this is Autumn Strong or Autumn Song, but in Japanese.
Okay.
So the first time he did a Japanese song. And I did this on my own first. And then everybody in the comments was like, you really had to have Lucas watch this one. So I was like, okay, yeah, we do have to have Lucas watch this one. So the cool thing with this one is going to be, he's like just kind of in a studio, but there are some things in here that I didn't talk about the last time that I'm hoping that you'll catch, and I'm sure you will. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when our videos come out, you know when our live streams happen. Tell us how pretty we look. Tell us that you like seeing more, you know, and let's do it. Let's do it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Jeez.
How much do you think that mic costs? I was trying to guess the last time.
I'm waiting to see what it says on it. Dude.
I don't know that I ever caught it.
Can we take a second just to admire the way that this is mixed?
Yeah.
Like, just that first section is so perfect. It's so crisp and clear. Every note of every instrument is in the correct place, in the correct space, like, who did this?
So supposedly, and I don't know if the instruments are first or if the instruments are live and then he's supposed to be singing live as they record this, or if the instruments were pre-recorded and then he's supposed to be singing live. I don't know which one it is. But he's supposed to be singing live, but I didn't talk about it in the last one, but I thought I caught something and I wanted to get your opinion on it. But it's one of the things I was wondering when you were talking about that, because if this is all supposed to be live, or even if it's not and that's mixed and they're putting his voice over it, wait till he starts singing and hear how good it is collectively, like after the fact.
Okay.
It's insane. It's just insane.
Dude,
Go ahead. Let's see if you say the same shit that I said.
Dude, that his voice, the way he ends his vowel, or the way he ends each phrase, there's just this more air that comes out afterwards, and then he ends the whatever, you know, the T or the D or the whatever, and it's like,
but you could hear the break. I was doing the same thing on the video. I was like trying to do it, and it's so seamless, and then it doesn't sound right. Like, think about, okay, I come in the studio.
Right.
We're singing a song. I'm just singing some shit, and I'm like, and then you're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like, I would
why,
be.
Why was the breath on the end of that? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, what are you trying to do there? And I'm like, what? I thought it was cool. And like, yeah, so you would never want that in a song. And yet his is purposeful. Like, it's like, even though it's just air, there's still like just a semblance of a note coming out, and it's purposeful.
It's like a whistle.
Yeah.
What he's doing is he's like, I can't do it, but like
yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's like a whistle that's in the wow.
And it goes on. I timed it. It's like 3.5 seconds after the freaking note.
Yes.
It's so incredible.
He does it a lot in his other live stuff, but in this, it's very because he's in the studio. It's so clear.
Yeah, and pronounced, and you're also. It's like very zoomed in on his face, so you're seeing it all.
It has to be so hard to do.
We don't know because we can't, and we have no idea how he actually does it. So, yeah.
Oh man. Oh jeez, dude.
It's like I just give up with him, you know? Like
yeah.
It's
so okay. So to be able to pick up what he's doing after all those notes, that is a very expensive tube compressing tube preamp with a very expensive tube compressor and probably like to get that distortion, like that slight distortion and that warmth to actually come through with that vocal, like I
and then so this is one of the things because like theoretically this is a live take that he's doing.
Yes.
Okay. And the reason I say theoretically is because there's going to be a point later where the camera cuts and it goes to the other side. And I don't think I still think it's a live take, but I think that they might have just used two, right? Like a side by side, which fine. But to do all of that, and the one thing I talked about, but then he's got a lot of harsh notes that he has to say, a lot of D's, T's, S's, K sounds at the end, and not a single one of them without one of these
right
comes through.
I was thinking that
so
as
the
well.
amount of control when all of that compression's happening to pick up those small little nuances in his voice and those airy notes and for it to not sound like utter crap without some kind of filter on it.
Yeah. I
Tell me how, Mr. Producer. Tell me how.
I was thinking the same thing about the pop filter and why they would choose not to do that, because they don't want to cover his face.
Because clearly he doesn't need it.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't need it. That's like, it's a really weird thing because like even with this mic, which has a filter on it.
Yep.
And then the part that picks up your voice is 3 inches from you.
You still need that. I still need that when I sing.
We had that problem in the studio. So like for him to have that mic with the stuff that they're using to pick up everything that's being picked up and then also not need that, I don't understand how he can be that good or how they were able to mix it like that. I'm gonna watch where his mouth is when he hits those. Maybe he knows to point in a different direction.
I think that he's backing up a little bit, and you can see that, but still with the amount that's on there, again, because presumably this is live.
Right.
So that if it was just mixed, that'd be one thing.
Right.
But this is so effort on him, effort on their team, like.
My guess, now I don't know, but my guess is that he did 5 takes, and they comped the if you guys don't know what that means, description of comped right here. No, I'm not going to make you do that in post. Is where you have 5 different takes of a vocal, and you take all the best pieces of it and put it into one take, and then do what you need to do. So if it were me, if you were to say we're going to do this thing in the studio, and you have to get it done. So we would do 5 takes. Yeah. We'd comp those takes together, and then we would align the vocals with the best looking pictures.
Yeah.
So with let's say your vocal is just a little bit off, but the way that the camera was moving was perfect.
Right.
You would take those 2 vocals and you'd make sure that those were lined up, and you'd use the best one out of the 2. My guess is that's what they did, because that's standard.
Yeah.
Could he do it in one take? Of course he could.
I'm sure that I'm sure that he can.
What is standard in a studio session like this is to comp the vocals and comp the visuals.
The visuals. Which I think we had a question in the comments from when I did it on my own, and she asked during a specific point in the song when she comes to just how is that possible? And I don't know if I posted the comment because this was yesterday when I started getting sick, but in my head, my thought process was I noticed that there was a camera movement at one point in time when the camera goes to the other side, and you don't see the other cameraman. So then you know that it's done in multiple takes, or you'd see the cameraman, right?
Right.
Yeah. Look at him moving his head for the extra vibrato, because it's so soft that he has to do that.
Mm-hmm. What, dude?
Don't ask. You're not prepared. You are not worthy.
I have to figure out how he does that. Even if I do it the crappiest way you can do it, I have to figure that out.
I mean, okay, so presumably, because I talked about this, so presumably it's a lot of diaphragm breathing, right? So when you're, and I don't know, because this isn't something that would normally change, so I don't actually know if you know this. So do you normally sing from your chest, or do you normally sing from your diaphragm? Normally with popular stuff, you sing from your chest, but with bigger classical stuff, you'll sing from down here, and you're actually like doing an ab crunch, essentially, when you're pushing music,
right,
okay?
Correct.
So you'd push that, and then it would just be enough closing, much like you would do a whistle in your mouth.
I don't think that's the case.
You don't think? I think that he's pushing enough, and then he's closing off something in here while still pushing a ton of air through.
I think it's coming from up here.
It's only coming from up here?
I think it's coming like I don't know. I don't because as you probably obviously you know, that you to close your larynx almost at any point in it's going to fatigue your vocal.
Yeah.
So if he was doing that every single note, his vocal is going to get tired. So you had to keep that open and find it's a whistle.
Your vocal gets tired because yours isn't like that's what I think that he's able to do these things that nobody else can freaking do because he works them out like a muscle. True. Every single day. True. And so therefore what would normally make somebody tired or fatigued, he can probably get away with it for an entire song where you and I could get away with it for a note.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because
I'm like
we're gonna practice. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from. Like that the noise itself is probably coming up from here, but I think he's got to push it. Like I don't think you can get enough air from up here. So I think the air is coming from here.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's even harder. That you're pushing air from down here, and then still using head voice.
Right.
And then locking it up here. Like think about all of the mechanics that have to go on to be able to do that.
Well. He's the mechanic. We already said that in the last video.
I just don't understand.
So weird. Very cool.
That's so awesome. He breathed in on an out note. Like he breathed out. Yeah, he breathed out and in at the same point in time there to make that noise.
Yeah. Wild.
So, okay, so something that I've never talked about before, and I don't know why, maybe because it's more zoomed in on his face now. You and I were just talking about this in the studio the other day when we were talking about some of the vowels, like you were talking about like on the end of some of the notes, some of the vowels that I do. And when I was doing voice training back in the day, a big thing about musical theater and about classical is the way that you hold notes and make sounds with certain mouth positions.
Yeah.
So when you land a note, let's say that the note was blow. I don't know. It's just an O
Why would
sound.
that be the note?
It's blowing. The wind's blowing outside.
Okay.
Lucas. It's Christmas time. The
Okay.
wind's blowing.
All good.
So how quickly you land that note, but when you attack it, it's not O, it's O, right?
Right.
Like the attack has to come, and it's a lot in here and in here. His vowels are superb.
Yeah.
And like you can see, it was zooming in a lot where you can see how far back his tongue is to make some of them, and how far out his tongue is, and his mouth position on notes that doesn't look like it should be in that position on that note.
Right.
It's because of the vowel that he's doing that he has to keep it in that position for that note, even the note. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm really zooming in on his face that I'm finally noticing that. It's incredible. His vowels are incredible. Self fader.
Wow. So what I will say, aside from his vocal being crazy, is that what they're doing with the cameras, how they're going, and the camera guy's not over there. What they are doing is they have really long focal length. What are those called? Lenses.
Yeah.
So they're far away from him filming.
Okay.
Other than the one guy that's up
I was
in his face.
gonna say, but there's two. Okay, so assuming that you have a very far away lens, you'd pick up the other guy. that's getting in close to his face, that's doing those movements.
Right.
So that's what leads me to believe that this is still multiple takes.
Yes.
Because
yes.
there's some from the left side, some from the right side.
This is 100%.
It's still multiple takes.
Yes.
Which, again, doesn't matter.
Right. Right.
Right? But it is.
But that's the only way. I mean,
you can't give it the depth if you don't do it.
Right.
So.
You wouldn't be able to have all those camera angles. You wouldn't be able to. Basically, just wouldn't be able to have all those camera angles.
Yeah.
So even though he could nail it in one take, he definitely. And I'm not even sure now that I've been watching, I don't know if any of the takes for the vocal were done in this room. I think this might be a music video of.
Do you think so?
Because of the T's and the P's and the D's not showing up at all on that mic.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. So it's either got to like that was one of the things that I was saying, right?
Yeah.
I was confused by that because when he takes his in breath on that one, that lined up perfectly with his in breath on the other one, you could hear it on that mic.
Right.
Right? It like picked up really, really heavy. But then there was one part on there though that I was paying attention when his mouth was really, really high open and he had a good vibrato going on, and his vibrato matched perfectly with that.
I don't know.
Maybe some of it was done, some of it was. It's
hard to say.
But that's with that mic and how much. That's what I was saying with how much some of that stuff is getting picked up. For some of the other stuff that had to get picked up, I was like, how is this possible?
The thing about that mic and the way that it's picking up his vocal is if there was a car 300 feet away that had a relatively loud engine,
it would hear the car.
It would hear it.
Yeah.
You could hear it because of like the amount of gain that they have on that thing. Like it's cranked to be able to hear some of the stuff that it's hearing. So, and then it's compressed. Like, I don't know. They would have to shut down the whole damn street.
Yeah. Which again, I mean, a lot of videos are shot like this, right?
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's our intro video thing that's at the end. I know some of you are going to be like, "What? You didn't say like?" You know, it's me dubbing over, and like, yes, I'm actually singing it at the same time, but then I'm dubbing over it with our studio version, so it looks the same and gives it an effect. You know, so sorry to burst everybody's bubbles and people like, "I'm out." You weren't singing that. I'm out.
Okay.
Jesus.
He's so good. He's so good.
I think that part right there was what somebody asked me about. Like, how did he know exactly when to end the note and then come in, and then the band was able to come in at the same time, go ahead. I mean,
Did you know?
Well, it's obviously that it's done in multiple takes, right? It's not live.
That's not what I was going to say.
Okay, what are you going to say?
Do you know? Do you know the answer?
I don't know.
Okay.
I assumed that they sung it over and then they made it come in that way. So no.
No.
Okay. What's the answer?
Do you know the answer?
You're
other
gonna
than
give
that,
it to us. You're gonna give it to us apparently.
Drum roll, please.
Okay. What's the answer?
Click tracks. It's a click track. He has a click track in his ear. That's why he has monitors.
I got you.
Yeah. So in his ear, maybe in the whole song.
Yeah.
In a song like this, it'd be tough to stay on time. Yeah. So he probably has a click track.
Click track going on.
And if not the whole song, because he is really good, so he probably can stay on time, even in a wispy song like this.
Yeah.
Just in the moments he needs it.
Yeah.
So like, live he could do the thing, and then the whole band could be like, oh, he's doing the thing, and then we can
Yeah.
do it. But even live, the drummer has a click track in his
Right.
ear, and if you don't know what a click track is, it sounds something like this.
Yeah. Metronome.
Yes,
for
a
those of-
metronome.
yeah.
Yes. So it's probably in his monitors, along with his vocal, along with all of
Right.
the instruments as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, it's what we've also discussed is it's not live, right? It's
Yeah.
not actually, so they've probably taken multiple takes here.
But like,
it's actually easier to do live because, like you said, that people can see you and then come in, right?
But even nowadays, like, people don't opt to do that. They'd rather have the click track so that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Because if you come in wrong, when it's like $100,000 production for one night, guess who's going home?
Yeah.
You know, so you just get the click track and everyone's on time.
Yeah. Lucas very frequently forgets to put on my click track, by the way, while
Yeah.
I'm singing.
Yes. Well, what I'm doing is I'm training him to be better than he is. So it's all part of the plan.
Master plan. Anyway, yeah, this is amazing, and
I don't like to focus on the fact that that was multiple takes, because DIMASH I believe is the best singer on the planet Earth.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter because only he could do what he did.
Right, but people always have questions about that.
Yeah.
Like how does it sound this good when he's doing that? How blah, blah, blah. So I feel like it's my duty just to say this is how they do this, and that's how they do that.
Yeah. And just amazing, absolutely amazing here. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, go down to the comments, hum a little, hum a few bars.
I just love that.
Yeah.
It's hot.
It's so good.
It's hot.
Thank you all! If nobody told you that they love you today, don't forget, we love you. You are appreciated. You are always welcome here in this channel, and you are enough. And last, but certainly not least...
Welcome on into the channel.
No, it was a great day to play. What is wrong with you?
I fell. It's a great day to play. I fell.
Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next
Need
video.
new stools.
Bye-bye.
And it's time to change for the last time, 'cause this is my time. And I'm